Hi guys, I don't usually make videos like this, but I've got a lot of concerns of what's going on right now. Um, we're Canadian. We are Canadians, and we are really importing um, stupid from the United States. Listen, I love my American friends. I'm not saying that Americans are stupid. I'm saying that there is a group that are being stupid. Um, with just for the sake of freedom. For the sake of freedom, they're grabbing hold of half truths and falsehoods and every such thing, um, just for the sake of freedom, because they have a problem with authority telling them what to do. There is nothing wrong with wearing a face mask, and COVID is real. And I'm not going to get into all of that. I just want to appeal to you on a very simple level. Um, when it comes to authority and regulations, there was a time I grew up, there were no seatbelts. The cars were built differently, you might say. Um, Fewer people on the road, all such things. Speed limits were different. It's all valid and it's all true. But at some point, the studies were such that they discovered that seatbelts would save lives. And so um, it became, they started installing the seatbelts. And then eventually they became mandatory. Can I ask what the difference is between seatbelts and a face mask? Because they have the same purpose. They're supposed to save lives in case of an accident, in case I get sick, in case I end up with COVID and I encounter somebody who doesn't have COVID, and 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 for me, I'm not having problems. It's not causing me a great deal of problems, but I encounter this person who has medical conditions that maybe I don't even know about. And because of my carelessness, I pass that on, and that person dies. Whereas if I just take the time and put on a face mask while I encounter people according to what is becoming the law, is mandated, just like seatbelts are mandated, um, that person lives. I don't see the difficulty in that. I don't see where the government is trying to condition us, no more so than seatbelts condition us. Or, there are places where bike helmets are mandated. And there's the same kind of backlash. People don't like that. They want the freedom not to wear bike helmets. But the fact is, if you're riding a bike and an accident happens, you get hit by a car and you get thrown and you land on your head, it's going to either cause long-term damage or death. Whereas wearing a helmet will save your life. So it would be great if we all had maturity to be able to make those wise decisions. But considering that sometimes we're stupid, the government comes out and says, these are the studies we have. You know what? Your death and your injury costs us money. So we're going to regulate this thing. We're going to tell you, in order to save money in our hospitals, hey, because I can't really say whether the government cares whether I live or die, but the way I affect them financially, it matters. And so what is the problem? What is the problem with having a government that looks at this, listens to the scientists, listens to all these studies, and say, we got it wrong when we started with, when we look at all these other societies that have this as part of their culture, um, these masks, and when we look at what the results are from this, we can see, yes, that the masks save lives. Masks cut down on the problem with COVID. The United States is a wonderful example for us. We can see how this attitude of reopening and freedoms and everything else is keeping them number one in COVID. And when they start shutting down and when they start putting masks in place, we see the numbers dropping. I'm not going to get into this whole thing about whether COVID is a leading cause of death, or what the death rates are, and all this sort of stuff. Because listen, you can play around with all the numbers you want to play around with, but one death is too much. And if me wearing a mask will save one person's life, then hey, I'm a hero. I'm a hero. Me wearing a mask is a lot less effort than me jumping in a river to pull somebody out. So if I get to save a person's life by wearing a mask, then I'll do it. And you know what? As a Christian, I can't afford to be stupid. Okay? As a Christian, I can't afford to fail in loving my neighbor. I can't fail by insisting on my rights not to wear a mask. Because insisting on my rights is actually the opposite of what the gospel teaches me. The gospel teaches me to consider others more important than myself. It tells me to consider not just my interests, but the interest of others. It tells me to lay down my life for my neighbor. Wearing a mask, it's actually like waving a flag. I love you. So listen, you can throw all the numbers you want at me. Facts are facts. Hospital situations are what they are. There's enough videos out there from doctors and nurses telling us the reality that they've gone through. We hear the cries in the southern states right now about in certain places that the ICUs are full and they got no place to put people. They're now bringing in refrigerated trucks because the morgues are full and they have no place for the bodies. Come on now, you can't look at the fact. There was a time where there were over 2,000 people dying in the States every day. With this peak, it's only 900, only 900 people dying every day. And you say, well, when you consider heart disease and but just because there's other things that take people's lives as well doesn't mean that we ignore this. If we have an opportunity to save a life, should we just say, well, that doesn't matter because this group over here, more of them are dying? Man, I don't know where people get their logic from. Wear a mask, people. If you want to show love to your neighbor, if you want to show that God cares, wear a mask. It's not hard.